Okay, guys, we are back discussing World War One. Remember, it lasted between 1914 and 1918. It actually used to be called the Great War or the War to End All Wars. But after World War Two breaks out, we start referring to this as World War One. Let me find this. Your learning target for today is I can discuss the reasons America entered World War One. So the main thing, and actually this is going to relate directly to your journal entry, you're going to be able to need to discuss the reasons America entered World War One. Okay? First of all, remember that we have this alliance system. You got Germany and the Austro-Hungarian Empire and the Ottoman Empire lined up in one set of alliances, and then France, Great Britain, and Russia on the other. Remember the assassination right here, sort of like dominoes, starts this whole alliance system falling apart so everybody comes to each other's defense. Okay, and remember Germany has a plan ready to go because France has fortified this whole border with Germany here. So the Schlieffen plan, if you remember, is just to go around through Belgium here and sort of go around and occupy Paris. But France, with the help of Great Britain, who comes across, pushes them back. And then there's these series of trenches going across France, really from the coast to Switzerland. And the war is this like maniac war of soldiers going over the top out of their trenches, and then the other side doing the same thing back to them. And remember, this war is going to end up taking 9 million lives. Um, but another thing I want to discuss today is one of the strategies of Great Britain, who's this island nation out here, is to put a blockade on Germany. Once again, Germany's in this bad situation where they're sort of landlocked to a degree. They do have some water outlets, but they're landlocked to a certain degree. And all Great Britain does is take all their ships and won't let them leave this area right here. The next slide will point this out closer in closer detail, but they basically got these ships, and it's called a blockade, where they won't allow any goods to come into Germany, such as food or ammunition or all the other things that you need to survive as a nation. And all kinds of people starved to death during this war against Germany because of this blockade that Great Britain puts right there. Okay, let me go to the next slide, maybe explain it a little bit better. Yeah, there it is. So this is the United Kingdom, Great Britain, and they sort of put all these ships out here, and Germany cannot get out of there. However, one thing that they can do is sneak submarines out of there, and that's exactly what they do. They go underneath those ships and go out there, and any British ships that they see or any French ships, they sink them because they're providing goods to their enemy, Great Britain and France. But if you're going to sink a ship that's just carrying goods, you're supposed to surface and tell them, get everybody off the ship. And as soon as everybody's off the ship, then you sink it. But Germany starts pretty much just going up and not giving any warning and coming from underneath the ocean, the surface, see the ship, and boom, torpedoes sink the ships. So it's a big time problem. And one problem we're going to see with the United States is, once again, there's Great Britain, there's France. Guess who's bringing Great Britain and France a lot of goods for them to fight this war? Of course, the United States. So the United States is coming all the way across the Atlantic Ocean and coming over to places like Great Britain and France. And Germany had snuck out of there and these U-boats or submarines and are sinking all kinds of ships. But the United States is trying to stay neutral, meaning we're not picking a side here. But from Germany's perspective, we sure are picking a side because we're bringing all these goods over to the United Kingdom and France and really helping them out. Okay, so we know what really brings a lot of this to a boil was the sinking of the Lusitania, a British passenger liner that set sail from New York carrying American citizens. It was sunk without warning. On May 7th, 1915, off the coast of Ireland, 1,198 people died. Can you imagine that? And here's the kicker for America: 128 of them were U.S. citizens. The Germans claimed that the Lusitania was carrying contraband, that is, war materials, guns, ammunition. Well, guess what? She was. So the Germans sank it, saying, "Guess what? They're carrying guns and whatnot in there." So I'm sorry, but all's fair in war and love, or is it love and war? But as you can imagine, the sinking of the Lusitania is front page news all over American papers, and Americans, they want revenge big time. All these women and children, oh my gosh, that's so horrific, die. One thing a lot of Americans didn't know is that Germany had put an ad in the paper right next to the ad for the Lusitania's voyage from New York. They put this ad, and let's read through it real quick. Travelers intending to embark on the Atlantic voyage are reminded that a state of war exists between Germany and her allies and Great Britain and her allies, that the zone of war includes the waters adjacent to the British Isles, that in accordance with formal notice given by the Imperial German government, vessels flying the flag of Great Britain or any one of her allies are liable to destruction in those waters, and that travelers sailing in the war zone on ships of Great Britain or her allies do so at their own risk. So there is a definite warning from Germany saying, I wouldn't get on those ships if I was you. We're at war with them. But a lot of people think, come on, are you going to actually sink a ship without giving us warning and give us a chance to get off the ship? Well, yeah, they would. So Germany's, although after the sinking of the Lusitania, they sort of tell the President Wilson, our president, that, okay, we'll stop doing that. They sink another ship called the Sussex, an unarmed passenger ship. America threatens to cut off diplomatic relations with Germany, and so Germany makes the Sussex pledge that no passenger or merchant ship would be sunk without warning. So they make this pledge. We're going to quit doing that, guys. That's it. Okay? They keep saying this, and we sort of go, okay, well, this better be the last time. And then they do it again. And once again, they do it. This time, the Sussex Pledge is broken, February 1st, 1917. Sort of the straw that broke the camel's back. So on February 1st, Germany continued unlimited submarine warfare. And also, a little bit before that, or a little bit after that, I should say, the Zimmermann telegram was released, and it was a secret message from Germany to Mexico that said if the U.S. entered the war against the Central Powers, Austro-Hungary, the Ottoman Empire, and Germany, Mexico should attack the United States. And as a reward, we'll give you back Texas, New Mexico, and Arizona, the lands that the United States stole from you, man. Okay? And Americans, when they found out about that telegram, were absolutely outraged. What do you mean? You're trying to get Mexico to start a war with us? Please. Here's that telegram. I won't read it all, but just read a little bit of it here. We intend to begin, this is from the German ambassador, we intend to begin on the 1st of February unrestricted submarine warfare. We shall endeavor, in spite of this, to keep the United States of America neutral. In the event of this not succeeding, we make Mexico a proposal of alliance on the following basis. Make war together, make peace together. Generous financial support and an understanding on our part that Mexico is to reconquer the lost territory in Texas, New Mexico, and Arizona. The settlement in detail is left to you. So basically Germany's saying, hey, we're going to start doing this submarine warfare unrestricted against all ships. We hope that the United States won't come into the war, but if they do, you attack them and we'll get you some of your land back. So Wilson, that's it. He goes before Congress to declare war. He says the world must be made safe for democracy. Its peace must be planted upon the tested foundations of political liberty. We have no selfish ends to serve. We desire no conquest, no dominion. We seek no indemnities for ourselves, no material compensation for sacrifices we shall freely make. So we're saying we're joining this war, but we're not in it to grab any territory or anything. We just want the world to be safe for democracy. Here's the real reason, though. You can see in this political cartoon, American ships sunk without warning, America lives lost. We really believe in freedom of the seas, that if you're not at war, that we have the right to go wherever we want on the oceans of the world without somebody shooting at us, sinking us, killing our people, and we will fight for that right. Okay? So here's a picture of Wilson going in front of the United States Congress and making that his declaration of war. Yeah, and that's all for today, okay, guys? That's sort of how we get involved in this. I'm out.